Evening, friends. The US FDA has approved Abicipectinib, pivekimab PVZY, as a first-in-class targeted therapy for blastic plasmacytoid dendritic cell neoplasm, BPDCN, an ultra-rare and aggressive blood cancer. This major breakthrough highlights today's medical news cycle, alongside global shifts in disease monitoring, health policy, and wearable tech. Welcome back, everyone. Today is May 28, 2026, and we are breaking down a massive day in medical history. If you or a loved one are keeping an eye on the future of cancer treatment, diabetes management, or cardiac health, you need to hear this. Today, the FDA greenlit a brand new targeted weapon against an aggressive, ultra-rare blood cancer. Meanwhile, a revolutionary biowearable just got approved to track both glucose and life-threatening ketones simultaneously. Plus, we are looking at a paradigm shift in heart failure recovery published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Let's dive straight into the big stories changing medicine right now. Segment 1, FDA approves Decnipaz for aggressive blood cancer. Our top story today is a massive win for rare disease research. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has officially approved Decnipaz, pivekimab PVZY, developed by AbbVie. This is a first-in-class antibody-drug conjugate engineered to treat blastic plasmacytoid dendritic cell neoplasm, or BPDCN. For those who don't know, BPDCN is an incredibly aggressive hematologic malignancy with very few treatment avenues. What makes Decnipaz a game-changer? It is the first and only ADC for this condition that doctors can actually initiate in an outpatient setting. In clinical trials, it showed an impressive 69.7% complete remission rate in patients who had never received treatment before. Now, it does carry a boxed warning for hepatotoxicity, meaning doctors will have to closely monitor liver function. But for the rare cancer community, this marks a monumental step forward. Segment 2, Abbott's Libre Duo claims world-first CE mark for diabetes. Next up, let's talk about a consumer health tech breakthrough that will completely transform diabetes care. Healthcare giant Abbott has officially secured the CE mark in Europe for the world's first continuous dual glucose and ketone monitoring sensor. Branded as the Libre Duo, this wearable checks both metrics every single minute. For millions of people living with diabetes, tracking glucose is just half the battle. Rising ketone levels can trigger a medical emergency known as diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA. Until today, checking ketones meant painful finger pricks or inconvenient urine test strips. The Libre Duo completely eliminates that barrier. It links directly into automated insulin delivery systems and shares real-time data with doctors. Abbott plans to roll this out in select European countries later this year, and an FDA submission is highly anticipated. Segment 3, NEJM publishes groundbreaking heart regeneration data. Moving over to cardiovascular medicine, we have stunning data freshly published today in the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine. Biotech company Reparin GmbH has released the clinical trial results for its engineered human heart muscle tissue. For decades, advanced heart failure has been a progressive, irreversible condition, leaving many patients waiting indefinitely for a heart transplant. This trial evaluated a biological patch made of laboratory-engineered human heart cells designed to be grafted directly onto a failing heart. The published results indicate that the tissue successfully integrates, restoring lost muscle function and providing a legitimate path to regenerative cardiac healing. Keep an eye on this company, because this could fundamentally change how we treat heart failure in the next 5 years. Segment 4, Global Health Roundup, FDA device designations and policy. Before we wrap up, let's run through a quick roundup of global medical updates hitting the wires today. Cancer screening milestone, the FDA just granted breakthrough device designation to Gene Solutions Spot MAS10. This is a single, multi-omic blood test designed to analyze cell-free DNA to screen for 10 different types of cancer, including lung, breast, and liver cancer in asymptomatic adults. Regulatory deadline hits. Today, May 28, 2026, marks the official deadline where UTMD registration becomes mandatory for all new medical devices entering the European market. This is a massive shift aimed at improving device traceability and patient safety across Europe. Healthcare spending shifts. New data released by India's health ministry shows public healthcare spending has nearly tripled over the last decade. This surge has drastically reduced out-of-pocket medical expenses for average households from over 64% down to 43.4%. You're always tired. It's one of the typical signs of long-term inflammation and a common sign of inflammatory diseases like fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, lupus, and rheumatoid arthritis. Talk to your doctor if you have a sudden drop in energy. It could be a sign of an underlying illness. It may be treatable, too. WebMD. Adult MMR vaccination eligibility. General Population Recommendations. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, ACIP, provides clear guidance on adult MMR vaccination based on birth year and evidence of immunity. Adults born in 1957 or later are recommended to receive at least one dose of MMR vaccine in the absence of other acceptable evidence of immunity. This birth year cutoff reflects the assumption that adults born before 1957 were likely exposed to measles during the pre-vaccine era and possess natural immunity. However, healthcare personnel born before 1957 without evidence of immunity should still be considered for vaccination, as this population requires special consideration given their occupational exposure risk. Medscape. Ebola. Russia developed vaccine against new Ebola strain, Health Minister Marashko. Moscow, Russia, May 27. The Russian embassy in South Africa said that the Russian scientists have developed a vaccine against the new Ebola virus strain. The embassy said that the Russian health minister Mikhail Marashko have made the announcement. The embassy, citing the Russian scientists, said that the vaccine may also protect against the rare Bundibugyo strain linked to the outbreak in Congo. S=20. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization, WHO, under the International Health Regulations, IHR, 2005, on May 17, determined the situation to be a public health emergency of international concern, PHSE, in light of the reported outbreaks of Ebola disease in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, and Uganda. According to a press release issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, has also officially declared the ongoing outbreak of Bundibugyo strain Ebola virus disease affecting the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda as a public health emergency of continental security. Facts. Further, the WHO IHR Emergency Committee on May 22 issued temporary recommendations to strengthen disease surveillance at points of entry to detect, assess, report, and manage travelers with unexplained febrile illness arriving from areas with documented Bundibugyo virus detection while also discouraging travel to areas with documented Bundibugyo virus detection. As per the press release, countries bordering the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Uganda, including South Sudan, are assessed to be at high risk of disease transmission. Ebola disease is a viral hemorrhagic fever caused by infection with the Bundibugyo virus strain of Ebola virus. It is a serious disease with a high mortality rate. At present, no vaccines or specific treatments have been approved to prevent or treat Ebola disease caused by the Bundibugyo virus strain. Disclaimer: this post has been auto-published from an agency feed without any modifications to the text and has not been reviewed by an editor. No Ebola case reported in India, Health Ministry, Hindustan Samacar. Ebola outbreak in DR Congo collides with conflict and hunger, WHO warns, UN News. India's first suspected Ebola case in Bengaluru puts disease surveillance system on alert, The Logical Indian. Indian. Heatstroke treatment, immediate steps and when to seek help. Heatstroke is a life-threatening medical emergency that requires immediate medical attention by calling emergency services. While waiting for professional medical help to arrive, you must take immediate action to lower the person's core body temperature. Delays can cause permanent damage to vital organs like the brain, heart, and kidneys, or even lead to death. Here is exactly what you need to do, what to avoid, and what happens at the hospital. Immediate first aid steps. If you suspect someone has a heat stroke, move them out of the sun and begin cooling them right away. Call emergency services, call for an ambulance immediately. Do not wait for symptoms to worsen. Move to shade, bring the person to a cool, shaded, or air-conditioned indoor area. Remove extra clothing, take off heavy, tight, or restrictive outer clothing layers to expose as much skin as possible. Immerse in cold water. If an ice bath or a tub of cool water is safely available, submerge the person up to their neck. This is the absolute fastest way to drop their core temperature. Use evaporative cooling. If a bath is not an option, spray or sponge the person continuously with cool water while fanning them with a heavy-duty fan or blower. Apply ice packs. Place ice packs or cold, wet towels on areas where large blood vessels are close to the skin, specifically the neck, armpits, and groin. Position and monitor. Lay the person flat with their feet slightly elevated. Monitor their breathing continuously. If they lose consciousness and stop breathing, start CPR immediately. Critical things to avoid. Making these common mistakes can severely worsen the patient's condition. Do not give oral fluids. If the person is confused, disoriented, or unconscious, do not give them water or fluids to drink. They may accidentally inhale the liquid into their lungs, aspiration, which is highly dangerous. Do not give fever medications. Never give paracetamol, acetaminophen, or aspirin. Heatstroke changes body temperature through a completely different biological process than an illness-induced fever. These medications will not help and can worsen liver or organ complications. Do not use rubbing alcohol. Do not rub alcohol on the skin to cool them down. It is dangerous and ineffective. Professional medical treatment. Once emergency personnel arrive or you reach the hospital, healthcare providers will use advanced cooling and supportive techniques outlined in clinical guidelines. Intravenous, fluids. Doctors will administer cooled fluids to rehydrate the body and restore essential electrolytes. Anti-shivering medication. Rapid cooling can cause the body to shiver. Because shivering generates internal body heat, doctors may give muscle relaxants or sedatives, like benzodiazepines, to stop it. Continuous monitoring. The medical team will track core temperature using internal probes and run blood tests to evaluate kidney, liver, and heart function to prevent multi-organ failure. Outro and call to action. From targeted oncology drugs to wearable sensors that prevent emergency room visits, medical science is moving faster than ever in 2026. Which of these updates do you think will impact healthcare the most? Are you excited about dual sensing wearables, or do you think multi-cancer blood tests are the future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss your daily dose of science and health news. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. The audience/viewers must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.